product. And for me, it checked all the boxes as far as helping me with my health, which I'd struggled with from my late 20s to early 30s, to being an entrepreneur and finding a way to make a bigger difference, and have my own business and all of that, but without the overhead. So that's why I'm here with LifeVantage. My brother's on this call too. We do this, this business is amazing, guys, because we're really, if you're falling in love with these products and with the idea that we can create what we want in our lives, it's all a decision, and all the tools are here. We have this beautiful community that we all work it together. So I'd like to just say that Marisa met me at my store. Marisa was introduced to this from her yoga student. And I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. David Scheiderer right now. And this is the crazy thing, guys. Marisa and I were at a training for our company, a side training, and we were in St. George, Utah. We got on an elevator in the morning and we were in a great mood. We're all activated. And Dr. Dave was on the elevator and he said to us, "Well, you ladies look wonderful. What are you doing?" And we said, "Well, we are here for a training for our wellness business. We're in the field of nutrigenomics." And he said 3 words, which really have changed our team's life here. He said, "Tell me more." And so we chatted, and it turns out that Dr. Dave is actually an expert in Nrf2 activation. He loved hearing about what we had, and I'd love to share just a brief bit of his bio and then let you all hear from him. Dr. David Scheiderer is the Chief Medical Officer and Director of Education at Integrative Psychiatry in Sarasota, Florida, and the President of Tiberius Enterprises in Roanoke, Virginia. An accomplished clinician, educator, and lecturer, Dr. Dave has established himself as a key opinion leader in the fields both of conventional mainstream psychiatry as well as functional medicine. As such, he is one of the most highly sought speakers in the nation on the topics of mental health and healthy aging. Dr. Dave also serves on numerous advisory boards and currently provides professional and technical expertise to several international corporations. In addition to his busy lecturing and consulting schedule, Dr. Dave maintains a private practice of integrative psychiatry in Sarasota. So you all are about to be blessed. Just hearing Dr. Dave is always a pleasure. So Dr. Dave, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Isa. And if nothing else, it has taught me to stay out of elevators. I don't think I've taken one since, but that, the steps have probably helped my conditioning. Yeah, so I've been shrinking for a long time, and don't listen to that bio. It's a bunch of nonsense I made up, and I can't even believe you bought it, Isa, but you got to put something on those things. I think my interest in the darker arts, right, complementary alternative medicine, integrative medicine, functional medicine, whatever you want to call it, came about because of my growing dissatisfaction with the outcomes I was achieving by solely using mainstream Western allopathic medicine. For example, depression. It's just a matter of time before any of us gets it or our loved ones get it. It's the most common psychiatric disorder in the world. It's the leading cause of disability. On average, if untreated, it kills you 10 to 12 years before your time. Before that, it'll rob you of everything that you hold precious. We all do. What makes us human. And we're no better at treating it. Check this out. We're no better at treating it than we were 65 can't say that, 65 years ago. And that's the kind of thing that first got my attention about, I'm stinking the place up. My interventions are woefully abysmal. And then I had these patients, the old adage, you learn a little bit from your professors and mentors and teachers, you learn a little bit more from your colleagues, but you learn the most from those you serve, right? Those whom you serve. And for me, that's been my patients over the years. So my patients were pushing for, you got to know more. I need more from you, Dave, than Lexapro or Prozac or, whatever else. Now, I got to be careful here because I still use all of those modalities. Do not make me treat psychosis or bipolar mania or any of these severe or depressions without my medications and all those tools. They're just not enough. Sometimes they're sufficient. I'll change that. Sometimes they're necessary. They're never sufficient. So that got me into lifestyle medicine. Get your 7 to 9 hours of sleep, watch what you eat, get your steps in, make some friends, all that good stuff. And then the nutritional piece has really I think, enhanced my game. I hope so. And certainly my personal life. I've got my own autoimmune illness since I was 12 or 13, whenever puberty hit. So it's been a personal and a professional mission of mine. As you can tell, I love to talk. I try to get contracts when I'm speaking to get paid by the word. So I just sneak as many words in as I can, sometimes some multi-syllable words if you're not careful. But so I love to see patients and I love to teach. I love the technology and the science behind these products. Really have loved the people I'm meeting. Yeah, they're activated. Sometimes I think that morning on the elevator in St. George, Utah, you guys were overactivated. I don't know if was that Axio? Was that the Dragon Blood Axio with extra caffeine? I'm not sure what you were on that day. I'm teasing, of course, delightful. But this is something to get excited about for whatever that's worth, coming from somebody who's in the trenches, who's really just trying to get people from -10 to 0. Now, that said, I am also interested in preaching the good word to the lay public, right? Just how do you prevent Alzheimer's, for example, right? I just read an article this morning entitled "The Most Preventable of All Uncurable Illnesses." Check that out. The most preventable of all uncurable illnesses, Alzheimer's. Well, what's that all about? Well, that's unbridled inflammation, metaflammation. That's where we need the Nrf2, the Nrf1, the NAD, that mitochondrial help, the antioxidant help, the anti-inflammatory help. And then, of course, it's all about the gut, right? Sealing and healing that leaky gut, right-sizing inflammation, resuscitating your tired adrenals, getting your neurotransmitters and hormones back in order, and then, of course, supporting your detox pathways. Can't do that with any of my meds. I don't do brain transplants anymore, and I don't even do fecal material transplants anymore. Actually, I never did those. All right. But yeah, so that's why I'm so excited about your organization. I don't know how to fit in as a distributor. That's what I need to learn from you all. So guide me. But you can tell I'm enthusiastic about it. And I think I'll stop talking there, Issa. Thanks for asking.
We love you, David.
All right. That's on you, man.
Thank you so much for sharing. This is the fun part, is the people that this attracts, that, we would never have known him. And I have to say, I think that's where God works and the universe works to connect us with the right people. So we'll teach you how to do this. You're doing it, Mr. Pro 2, and you guys are going to learn about what that is. But I'm going to turn this over now to Leslie Powell. She has been practicing medicine for 20 years. She has an expertise in cardiology, orthopedics, spine, geriatrics, and aesthetics. She is a hoot. I love her. I love her husband, Bill. They are wonderful people that I would never know had it not been for this business. We've been traveling together as well. LifeVantage offers wonderful trips that you can earn. We just got back from Croatia. She's been married to Bill for 17 years. They have 3 grandchildren and a rotten cat named Axio. Maybe it's dragon fruit Axio. And they live now in Bonita Springs, Florida. So take it away, Leslie. Thank you. Why LifeVantage?
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you so much, Marisa. So I wanted to just share a little bit with you guys, a little bit about my story here. So I'm originally from West Virginia. I'm a coal miner's daughter. I'm the granddaughter of a coal miner. Most of my uncles and many of my cousins were coal miners. And my parents always told me that when I was growing up to find a good job. We always hear, find a good job, something that you can just work for 40 years and grind away and make a good income, right? And hope and pray that you make enough money to retire by the time you're 65 years old. Well, the other thing that they always told me is that you need to find a job that's good enough that you can work from anywhere. And so they got it partially right as far as, I'm concerned. So what I want you to know is that when I graduated physician assistant school, I was $90,000 in debt, and I had $20,000 in credit card debt. And that credit card debt wasn't wasteful spending because my parents didn't have any kind of trust fund or anything for me to send me to school. We had saved nothing. So it was all on me. My parents grew up in very poor households. And so for me, it was, going to be a game changer for me just to be a college graduate. I actually managed to live on $4,000 a semester. That paid for my utilities, my phone bill, any internet I had, any fun I had. So in essence, I really wasn't that frivolous with the money, but I needed that credit card to help me make ends meet because my parents just didn't have it. So when I started my first job 20 years ago, I was making $55,000 a year, which sounds like a great salary, but I was working 12 hours a day and I was taking call every other weekend with a solo practice cardiologist. And after having a house payment and a car payment and my school loans, which by the way, my school loans were $800 a month, I realized that $55,000 a year just wasn't going to cut the butter for me. So I had basically spent 9 years of my life, had 2 bachelor's degrees, one in biology and one in physician assistant studies, to make $55,000 a year and still struggle. So like for me, this just wasn't adding up, right? So I was like, all right, Leslie, let's do what we do. Let's dig back in and find an extra source of income because I am very resourceful and I've always been one of those people that could find a way to make extra money. So that led me to network marketing. And I started my career in network marketing in 2009. This is actually my 3rd company. And in 2001, I was introduced to LifeVantage. The main thing that I want to stress to you is that as you navigate and question if you should get involved in this business, don't judge people based off what you see. Because remember, what we share on social media is truly a highlight reel. And that if you were looking at my life from the outside in, you would have never guessed that I would be someone that would need money, right? You probably would have prejudged me. So that's one of the things that I want to tell you, that when you look at this business, you don't want to do that because you never know when someone's going to need an opportunity like this. And I was miserable, guys. I was stressed. I needed breathing room. I didn't have any more hours in the day. I needed to find a way to make money while I slept, while I vacationed, if I could afford it. So this company is very different than anything else that I've ever done. There is a reason why there's more medical professionals in this company than any other network marketing company out there. We have legitimate scientific data to back what we have. And I have tried, there's multiple people within this company who have tried. It cannot be disproved. It is legitimate, okay? So just know that you also don't have to know the nitty-gritty details of the science. We have a lot of different people within this business who come from multiple different backgrounds. So that's just a little bit of my story. And I know it really doesn't get into, all the science and all that, but I just want you to know that my message to you today is that don't judge a book by its cover. Present the opportunity to everybody, give everybody the opportunity to say yes or no, and then move on, because you never know when someone is just praying for this type of opportunity. So I'll turn that back over to you, Marisa. That's all I've got for today.
Oh, thank you so much, Leslie. That was just beautiful. I love your story. It's powerful. Don't prejudge, you guys. Okay, we're going to turn it to John Jelinek. And Dr. John is also in the medical profession. He's a chiropractor. He's been practicing as a chiropractor for over 18 years. He has a beautiful wife, Christy. They live in North Dakota, and they have 3 children. And his passion and purpose is really to help people take control of their wellness, take control of the quality of their life. And let me just say this. He just hit, and by the way, Leslie's getting ready to hit an elite level in this company very, very soon. So this is true for all of us, whether you're starting today or not. We all started the same at ground zero, and we just went to work. But John just hit an elite level in this business, Elite Pro 7. I'm going to show you the earnings income disclosure in a little bit, but Elite Pro 7 is 100,000 organizational volume points coming through your business monthly. And that is well over 6 figures in leveraged income that works for you while you sleep. And he's been plugging away at it while he's working his full-time job. So I'm going to let him take it over, share a little bit of his story and why you can still do this, even if you say you're the busiest person on the planet.
That's great. Thanks, Marisa. And thanks everybody for joining us this afternoon. I started with LifeVantage 10 years ago, and I wasn't looking for this either. I had a patient come to me, and anybody in healthcare knows they have a lot of patients or a lot of people that will come to them with a whole slew of catalogs, a lot of ideas on, trying to look at the next best thing out there. And when I had a patient who invited me to go to an in-person meeting, I decided, you know what, I'm in a small town, and I said, I'm going to go, I'm going to check things out, because I look at everything everybody brings me, and I'm going to see if what she was telling me was legit. And I went to this meeting on a Saturday morning, and at that time, that was 10 years ago. So I'm going to say I was pretty healthy back then. I still am now, but healthier 10 years ago. So I wasn't really looking at anything to take myself besides the other supplements I was taking. But when I saw this ABC Investigator report, which you should really check out if you haven't seen it, I'll never forget the researcher on the end of that video. And he said, I don't want to be 80 years old and wish I would have taken it. And that sticks in my head the last 10 years. And I've taken this product ever since. But a couple things stuck out to me after that video, and why I started it is, number one, it's an activator. And if you don't know what that is, it's different than supplementation. But activation is new. I never learned about that in school. I don't even know if they're still learning about it. I think we're just getting into the studies on some of this in school, but activation is the newest thing out there. Another thing I liked about this that stuck out is the studies. The studies with this company they're on PubMed, which is the National Library of Medicine's website. So anything that health professionals will look up is on that website. And a lot of the studies done on our flagship product, Protandim Nrf2, are third-party studies. The other thing is patents. Patents, they blew me away, because it's a rigorous process on getting patents on products. And so that stuck out to me as well. The other thing I liked about it, it was getting to the root cause of the problem. It's getting to a cellular level. The one thing I tell my patients, especially when we preach wellness care, is, pain's a symptom. It's one of the last to come, one of the first to go. But when it goes, it doesn't mean it's necessarily gone, right? And things manifest itself over time. But if we can take this and get to the root cause at a cellular level, we can fix a lot of things. And what I liked about this is I can help people in more ways than I can with just chiropractic care. So I can kind of complete that whole healthcare paradigm and treating them in multiple ways that I couldn't otherwise. So I took the product for several years. I didn't do the business. I'll tell you what, I didn't want to hear anything about network marketing. Didn't really know what it was, but at the same time, you hear different things, right? It was the pyramid scheme. It was a get rich quick thing that I thought it was. But I never stopped taking a product from the company. So 4 years went by, and I'm taking the product myself, right? I wasn't even really recommending it at this time, but I just never forgot that researcher telling me I should be taking this. So at one point in time, my upline reached out to me, and they reached out at a really good time. It was about 7 o'clock at night, and I was still in my office. I was sitting here doing all the paperwork that starts coming here next week on the first of the month, when you got payroll and you got everything you got to add up for financials and getting to the accountant. And I was sitting there going, this may be something I need to look into. I need to look at the residual income. I didn't really understand it at that time. And for me, I was starting a second practice, so I never looked into it. But now fast forward, I was sitting there going, okay, I think I need to look at something and see what's different, because I didn't want to be stuck at my job till 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, miss out on my family time, miss out on my kids. And at that point, I was realizing that I was looking for some time. I wanted my time back. I wanted choices. I wanted to choose if, I want to go to work. I want to go to work and treat people because I can, not because I have to financially. The other thing at that point, I had been working over 3 solid years. I didn't even take a vacation. Self-employed, I was the only one working 2 offices. If I go on a vacation, not only does it cost me my time, it costs me the money to being at work, so and paying for the vacation. So it's like a double whammy for me. Right. And then you come back, or you go on vacation, you're actually more stressed. Then you got to come back. And, at some point I always said, it's almost more work going on vacation than just staying home and staying at work. It's almost easier just if I stay at work. So when I started to learn a little bit more about residual income and network marketing, and I would encourage you all to do your research on this, it's a phenomenal way to have a business. In the last few years, if anybody in healthcare couldn't go to work, because of what was happening with the pandemic, I can't work without seeing patients. So for me, I didn't have a stay-at-home job. I can't do chiropractic care on telehealth. Let me tell you, that would be, put an ice or a hot pack on it. That's about all I can do. I can't treat people without seeing them. So for me, financially, this was a great tool for me to make extra money by helping people in their health. and having them recommended to others. And that's kind of what I do. When you start seeing the results and you build your belief in the product and in the business, good things are happening, and other people with the same results are going to keep sharing. And so that's really the reason I wanted to do this. I'm helping more people than I ever could before. The other nice thing about it is I can go on vacation and still do this business, and I'm making money while I'm on vacation. I can come back and I'm not stressed. I'm taking more time off during the week to spend with my family. I'm coaching hockey now with my second son, and I did this with my oldest a few years ago. So for me, this is a great alternative to do. It's my side gig while I'm still doing full-time chiropractic care, but I'm doing it on my own terms. And so LifeVantage for me has been a blessing. It's my first company that I've ever been with and ever done this type of business. So yeah, it's been a great deal for me. So thanks, Marisa.
You are so welcome, John. It was so fun to see you in Croatia with your wife and having a great time and seeing your business rise. And he hits the elite at the end of the month. So the Elite Pro 7s, it's really amazing. I'm going to show you all something. This is, as John mentioned, we are the Activation Wellness Company. And this is our earnings income disclosure. If I can get this little guy down here, hold on just a second. This is our earnings income disclosure statement. And well, it's a picture from it. And we have levels 1 through 10. And Pro 1 is somebody just getting started. But I always say a Pro 1 is a Pro 10 in training, and a Pro 10 is a Pro 1 that never quit. And so you're getting ready to see and meet two beautiful people who are getting ready to hit that level of Master Pro 10. And that is over $1 million of, or 1 million points, I should say, almost dollar for point of volume coming through your organization. And you didn't do it yourself, trust me. And these people, I can't wait to get to them to show you who they are, Michelle and Sean Poe. But you can see, like, I mean, when I just want to say something. When I saw the Elite Pro 7, I looked at that. You can see the average monthly now is 13,349. Issa's getting ready to hit Pro 6 by the end of this month. And I know she will do that. That's 50,000 organizational volume points coming through your business monthly. So when I saw Pro 7, I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't, because even in television news, I never earned 6 figures. And so I just didn't think it was possible. And what LifeVantage can do for you is help you think and grow yourself bigger than you ever imagine. And it's not about the money, it is about the person that you become. So with that, I want to turn it over to, I want to call them right now, the Po 10s. Michelle and Sean Poe and Issa, if you'd like to say a word or two, because I know that you've been working tirelessly with Michelle and Sean. And let me just tell you, this couple, they are angel servants on this planet. They bless so many of us. They are in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. They have 2 beautiful children, Elise and Callista. They've known each other since they were in 6th grade. Sean comes from the financial banking world. Michelle came from mortgage. She was struggling incredibly with her health, like to the point where they didn't know she was going to make it or not. And I can tell you, while these products don't cure, treat, or mitigate disease, they do activate the body, and you would never know anything's wrong with her or was wrong with her. The only thing is she is fueled with passion, and I just love it. So Issa, go ahead and take it away and turn it over to Michelle and Sean, and we'll wrap this up with their beautiful words. And let me just tell you, October 31st is tomorrow. There will be no tricks. It will all be treat.
Well, I can't say anything that Marisa, that you haven't just said. Talk about servant leadership here. And that's what Marisa means about, it's not about the money, it's about the person that you become. Developing into this culture develops you into someone who really is focused on others and about rising them up. And I can't think of a better example than Sean and Michelle. They have created an organization based on love, all based on heart, and just truly family. So I couldn't be more pleased to introduce you both. Sean, it looks like you're unmuted. Are you going first?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll kick it off and then I'll toss it over to Michelle. But, first of all, anybody that's watching this, I beg of you to open up your heart to see where this fits in with your life, because I was the skeptical guy in the back of the room 11 years ago. And even though I was skeptical, I was open-minded to see where it fit in with our life. and even if it was half true. And this has not only been half true, it's been way bigger than anything that they knew it was going to be back then, as the science has further and further gained traction, and they became more knowledgeable about the power of getting the body's pharmacy back open. And what we do is truly a mission. It's educating people on ways that they can perform better, live better, be better, have better opportunities on the financial side of things and personal development, you guys. This is not something that we've done alone. I promise you, if you would have told me this is where we would be in 2022, back when I first heard about this, I would have laughed. Because we honestly, we didn't know the first thing about network marketing. We didn't know the first thing about nutrigenomics. And our joke was, if we're successful network marketers, we're going to get a $20 check and we'll go celebrate with a bottle of wine and a Redbox movie. But just like everybody else that you've heard on here, we are passionate about what we heard. We're passionate about educating people on the potential of what it could do for them and allowing them to make that decision. And the more people we told, the more people that wanted to see what it could do for them. 90% of our business, you guys, is customer based. I love that. If you don't understand the science and see where it fits in, you just haven't plugged in enough or asked enough questions, because it becomes a no-brainer. You should integrate this into your health strategy. The question is are you going to do it as a customer or a distributor? So about 10 to 15% of the people that we share the information with, they want to lock arms on the business side. And I can tell you, seeing the ups and downs that have happened, not only personally for people, but across the board socially over the last, especially several years, I hope that people are preparing themselves for things that are going to come up, because humans are messy, and it's not a matter of if something's going to happen, it's a matter of when. And you want to be prepared as possible. And this might not be the vehicle for that, but find something that is. Our world was flipped upside down in 2004 after our oldest daughter was born. Michelle got really, really sick. We didn't know if she was going to live. It started off just as a small problem, but over the course of 7 years developed into a major problem, isolated to the right side of her body, started getting limited mobility in her arm, her leg, was affecting her vision. There were nights where she'd be in so much pain, we'd take her to the emergency room. Hours later, I'd have a doctor come out and tell me they didn't know what was going on, but maybe they wanted to do exploratory brain surgery. That was the world we were living in. We saw some of the best doctors in the world, from the Cleveland Clinic to the Mayo Clinic. And as good as Western medicine is, you guys, they don't know everything. And they could rule out a lot of what it wasn't, but they could never tell us what it was. And as a husband, that was hard. Not being able to fix your wife or have an answer was hard. And so we were praying for something. And when this fell into our lap, we honestly didn't even know that that was the answer. We were at the meeting that a cardiologist was doing here in Sioux Falls because Michelle's biological dad had died of a heart attack in his early 40s. And so we thought, if nothing else, this could help prevent us from going down that same path, give us options, because health isn't determined upon what happened to your parents or your grandparents. It's up to a lot of our choices and decisions that we make. So I was also in the corporate world, and coming out of college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I stayed in college for a long time. I got a lot of degrees. When I finished up my MBA, I came out and got into the banking world, got my security licenses with Wells Fargo, Series 766, ended up getting a great job there, but had to leave it behind when we moved to South Dakota for Michelle's health and to be around her family. And I switched over to Citigroup, and I learned a lot, but I was in a true dog-eat-dog environment where success was determined by separating yourself from everybody else, not helping everybody. And that next raise, that next promotion was determined by me separating myself. So I had no incentive to tell anybody why I was good at what I did. But the higher I climbed that corporate ladder, the more time that they wanted out of me. I managed cash movement for Citigroup of around $4 billion to $40 billion for years. We were taking banking jobs from New York because banking didn't need to be done in New York anymore. We could do it in South Dakota and pay people about 20 cents on the dollar. So I would go down to New York, live in a hotel out in Manhattan, and I was missing my kids growing up. It's tough to get from New York back to South Dakota on a Friday afternoon, and if anything would go wrong, I would miss my flight and not be able to go home. And I'll never forget one time being home for about 48 hours. We went to the lake with Michelle's parents and my girls, and my oldest daughter, Callista, she was about 4 at the time, and I was getting ready to go back to the airport. She looked up at me and pulled on my shorts, and she just said, "Dad, don't go back." And it absolutely tore my heart out because I didn't have options. I didn't have choices. I couldn't tell them I'm not coming back. I hadn't dug the well. And you know, the last couple of years that I was there, it was crushing my soul. I wasn't the dad I should have been. I wasn't the husband I should have been. I was managing the defaulted student loan portfolio, all of the litigation, all the collection activity out of it, a bank that had 350,000 employees. I was the only person that did what I did. So anytime anything went to court, I had to fly out and be custodian of record, which simply meant I just knew the process well enough that any question that any attorney or judge asked, I could answer. And so if there was a case in Philadelphia on Tuesday and I found out on Friday, they didn't care what was going on in my life. I had to be there. And flying out again isn't easy from South Dakota. So I'd fly out Monday, go to court Tuesday morning, and then try to fly home late Tuesday afternoon or maybe Wednesday. And again, I was missing my kids growing up. And so when we found this, and again, even though we were skeptical about it, we saw where it fit in with our life. And after about a couple months, we realized it was more than $20. And we were just naturally sharing. We weren't treating it like a business. And we thought to ourselves, what if we treated it like a business? And high level, I got paid in the corporate world because I was really good at forecasting numbers. And when I looked at what was happening with our business, with us not treating it like a business, I saw the potential of what it could be if we plugged into the system, followed people that had already had success and did what they did. That's the key to business, you guys, is find a mentor that knows what they're doing, do what they do, and generate the same results. And that's what we did. 9 months in, I retired from the corporate world. Michelle brought me home. And I don't know what other vehicle could have been put in front of us that would have given us that ability. I walked away in January of 2012. And the only way I could describe it to anybody, you guys, was it was like I got let out of this corporate kennel. Somebody had let me out of a kennel. And I referred to it as becoming a free range human. And that's how we live our life. We build our schedule based off of who we want to be with, where we want to be with them, and how we want to do it. And we build it around our kids first. But the domino effect that's transpired, and what I'm so excited about that's happening right now, is we're seeing more success happen in the last couple of months than I've seen in a decade. And it's just this giant domino effect because success is determinant upon helping other people have success. And that's how life should be lived. So Michelle, I know that was a mouthful, a lot.
Keep going, honey. I love all of it. Keep going. It's so amazing. First of all, hello, everybody. So excited to be here with you. Just like overwhelmed with so much gratitude and just the blessings of all of us being here together and the blessings of technology, right? That we can be on here and see each other's eyeballs or hear the words and just feel the true authenticity. Shauna, like 100%.
All right. Yes, that's real life, you guys. We built this with little kids in the background. We've built this from our house with the dogs. But it truly is something that it doesn't matter what your background is, your prior experience, your education level. The things that determine success is, do you have a desire for change in your life to do something a little bit different? It doesn't mean you have to stop doing what you're doing. Could be in addition to what you're doing. Are you coachable, and do you have a decent work ethic? Outside of those three things, we can help anybody get to where they want to get doing this.
Yes, thank you. And I saw, I think it was Deborah had asked a question in regards to health and whatnot. So I just want to just tell you all how special this is to be here and be connected. And it's always my heart's cry for you to know this is real. It's just the biggest thing, because when we came into this and I saw the ABC Primetime Investigative Report, you know, and that video that Marisa shared and all this, and we hear that incredible Dr. Dave start sharing, and John, and I mean, all this, you know, stuff in regards to the science, I just remember thinking, this sounds way too good to be true. Like, where are the holes at? Because everything in life is our name, right? If we're going to be sharing something with somebody, better be that and then some. And so we were very protective of not only our name, but our community and everything that was going here. So people still laugh about when our very first meeting, because we were asking all the questions, trying to disprove the product, trying to disprove the business. And I was trying to find, like, where is this? And we had people like, you know, the host here today that were reaching out and saying, how can we help you? How can we help you? We're here for you. And we're like, we're nobodies. We've never done a business like this before. We don't even know what we're doing. And you're offering up your help to be here and help us. Like, what in the world? Who are these angelic people? And that's what LifeVantage is. It is people truly here to help make a difference, whether it be your health, whether it be your finances, whether it be the community, your purpose, just your soul, just all of the things. You will wake up, and I love Dr. Dave laughing about you, Isa and Marisa, about being activated, but that's the thing, you guys, we are activated, our cells are activated, and I love that first video, how it talks about fix the cell. I'm reading this incredible book because I'm always trying to just continue learning on health and all that, and it's this book in regards, you know, cancer and how to, you know, avoid it and do all these healthy things and whatnot, and the whole book talks about fixing the cell. Fix the cell, fix the cell, fix the cell. So what do we want to do? And why in the world did this help me from being at that place where Sean and Marisa had shared from where I was? You're right, Deborah, we can't say that we cure, treat, prevent, or mitigate disease, right? But what is so powerful, and those medical professionals that are on here, put it in the chat, in the agreement, or whatever that you want to say. What is so powerful is when we have, with our flagship product and then others that have come in afterwards for the mitochondria, the NAD, all of that within synergy together, the only product on the planet that we're aware of, nutraceutically or pharmaceutically, that's proven to lower the root cause of disease known as oxidative stress. When you cut open an apple and it sits out on the counter, it turns brown, right? That's our cells, that's all the things. That's why ABC Primetime Investigative Report came to the company and said, we want to do an ABC, we want to test this out, we want to see if it's legit. How many of you have ever seen an ABC Primetime Investigative Report end positive? Ever? I don't think that there has been one, maybe, but I've never seen one end positive, and that one ended positive. And I asked the doctor, why in the world doesn't everybody in the world know about this term, oxidative stress, if it's known to be the root? He said, Michelle, because until Protandim came, the only thing that we could say to people is eat your fruits and your veggies. Get your nutrition. Still do that, still very important. But he said, this is 1,000,000 times more potent at fighting that free radical damage that leads to oxidative stress, that leads to disease. So it's like putting the fire out. He said, imagine taking a Dixie cup of water and throwing it on a house fire. What's that going to do? He said, nothing. He said, well, that's what is happening when it's fruits and veggies, right? Again, very important. But when it comes to free radical damage that leads to oxidative stress, whole different deal. He said, when you take these products, it turns on your body's own anti-aging enzymes. Dr. Dave talked about detoxification pathways. If you want to get really nerdy, it increases something called glutathione by 300%. In the world, these past couple of years, that word has become a buzzword. People are getting glutathione infusions and also NAD infusions and all that. But what if you could take these products every day and get those levels up by 300%? So why am I doing well now today? Because my body is activated. I've lowered that oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days and up to 70% after 3 months. There is research and from universities and institutions literally all over the world. We have US patents that show that we lower inflammation in the body. Inflammation is known to be what? The silent killer. Let's put the fire out in our bodies. Increasing, like I said, that glutathione, the detox. Is our world different today than what it was 50 to 100 years ago in regards to pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, GMO, pollution, all these things? We got to get that stuff out. We got to do other things. I sauna every day that I'm home. I juice, I eat. You still got to do those things, but it's a different world. We balance out hundreds of genes, hundreds of them, flipping on the good ones, shutting off the bad ones. Sean was talking about how my biological father died of a heart attack at the age of 42. I was so sick, going to the best doctors, like they said, but I was like, I'm going to go to this meeting because my dad died of a heart attack, and there's a cardiologist that's going to be speaking, and there's a study in Circulation, which is the premier cardiology journal of the world, on our flagship product. I'm going to go and I'm going to listen, because there was that gut intuition. So we listened and we were there. So why are we doing so well? Because the body is powerful. When it has what it needs, it can do what it needs to do. And that's just on some of those basic products, not basic, those, our flagship products. Everybody on the planet, people that know me know that if I could pay to have every single person on the planet, and if I could feed it to them and make sure that they take it every single day, they would get it. This is a mission. This is something that the world deserves. And we wake up literally every day on fire to help people in every way. And you guys, we have Olympians taking these products. They're approved by the Banned Substance Control Group. We just did a horse video the other day, and pets. We have race horses on these products. The horses have been to the Kentucky Derby, you guys. We have gorgeous people like Issa and some of her team, estheticians and their med spas, right? We have a study with our skin system that shows that it is better than retinol. What in the world is that? That is absolutely insane. And guess what? It's clean and non-toxic, approved and shown within an app called Think Dirty. So we want to, again, make sure that we are keeping ourselves clean, healthy, not putting bad things in it, right? So this is why I get so crazy and passionate. I'm looking at Sean, he's like, oh boy, here she goes. She's gonna just keep going, because we need to be activated. Everything, our shampoo and conditioner that we have, it's non-toxic. It works. Has anybody here used that system and had incredible results? Yes. The hair, the skin, the Axio. Axio is brain food, food to the brain. Why was Dr. Dave laughing? Because it literally feeds the brain. It turns on those neurotransmitters in there. It gets things going. It focus, clarity, mood. I've had little boy, a couple boys that are super, super good friends. They've said the same words to me. Miss Michelle, I'm so much more focused. Teachers are emailing and saying, oh my gosh, what are you doing differently? I can sit in class now. I can do all of these things, right? We're on the NASDAQ, publicly traded. Sean was talking about how he looks at all these things. You can go check it out. Transparency is who we are. In every way, we are mission-filled, but we have transparency. We are a debt-free company. Would you not love to step into a company that is debt-free, that is run, this 99% of my business, look at how bad my phone is. My friends last night are making fun of me because it's just tore up here. That you can do your business on your phone. 99% of that is done on the phone. We have an app that tracks literally everything. You don't have to worry about, sending product from your home. It goes directly from the distribution center to people's homes. It is just like a perfect world. We were just, in Phoenix, we were talking about this utopia. It's just real. And so that's why I opened this up, is just saying to you guys, please know this is real. These products are important. Ask people questions. They're going to need these products, but people are also on their knees praying for an opportunity, praying to find some way to pay the lighting bills, to pay the medical bills, to pay for braces, to pay for the gasoline, to pay for everything, right? Retirement, doing all these different things. It is real. So listen and just ask questions and find how we can help individuals. And during this call, we had some of our dearest friends just hit the elite ranks of what's called Elite Pro 7. Amy and Grant Dippold hit that during this call. So you guys, magic happens when we all work together. Again, we knew nothing about any of this when we got here, and we just want to help. Isn't that the most beautiful thing that you can think of doing life and doing business? This is what I would do anyway, right? That we could just do this all together. So my brain is literally everywhere because we just care. And I could talk forever, but yes, it is
Michelle,
a worldwide mission. Yes.
We just love you so much. And I know I wanted to honor your time because I know you guys listen, I know you're grinding it, you're jamming, you're helping. And this is what shows people are successful because of the pose and because of leaders. Teaching is leader backed by leader backed by leader. And congratulations to Amy and Grant. That's phenomenal. I don't even know if they're on here, but congratulations to them. And the pose, what they're talking about the science and they're talking about the business too, but what they haven't told you is probably how, I don't want to say how hard, but inspired with action, that they have been working tirelessly forever, actually, since I've been in LifeVantage. She was the first person I was introduced to on a third-party call before we had Zoom. And I was like, who is this woman? I'm in love. And I'm now in love with this company. And that's what it was, just connecting me with someone that gave me a vision for a better life. So thank you, Michelle and Sean, for giving us all that clarity and that vision. We love you. We cannot wait to celebrate you officially as our newest Pro 10s. And I know you're going to be there. We love you, Pro 10. Thank you for everything. Thank you for this call, all of the speakers. I just think this is really powerful, and this is something you can add people to and share this and let them see who we are. We're just normal people that just want to help others better health and opportunity. So thank you. Thanks, Michelle and Sean. We love you. Let's give them big hearts. Okay.
Thank you, Marisa, Isa, everybody that shared. Just so beautiful. Love you all to pieces.
Love you too. Bye, everybody.